My search for the Thunderbolt begins where its mission ended, in the remote Micronesian islands of Chuuk, formerly known as Truk Lagoon.
This is the island of Tonowas. Today it is an utterly overgrown wilderness. But back in World War II, it was something else entirely. Back then it was known as Dublon, and it was one of the most important Japanese military installations in the Pacific.
Truk was once a hive of military activity. These islands are where the Japanese constructed 5 airfields that supported 500 planes, not to mention facilities for seaplanes and submarines. And the lagoon itself housed as many as 1,000 ships, including gunboats, minesweepers, and supply vessels, all defended from the islands with anti-aircraft guns, pillboxes, bunkers, and caves. 80 years later, the lagoon is quiet. The crumbling remnants of war are slowly being absorbed by the jungle. The date is May 6, 1945. To tamp down the activity at Truk Lagoon, Beecroft and his squadron take off in their brand new Thunderbolts from Saipan, over 700 miles away. The daring plan was for the squadron to fly into the heavily defended lagoon, bombing first the seaplane base, and then an airfield, before swinging around to bomb this island, once called Dublon, and exiting the lagoon to the northwest, back to the safety of Saipan. But sometime after strafing Dublon, Beecroft is hit and crashes into the lagoon. Where exactly is a mystery, and one that might have been forgotten were it not for Project Recover. Colin and his colleagues do the crucial work of interviewing World War II vets to preserve their memories, an increasingly challenging task.
Let's watch.
Incredible.
I'm Colin Colborn, interviewing Colonel Durwood Williams. Can you tell me a little bit about Lieutenant Beecroft?
He was a friend of mine. We both finished flight school at the same time, and we flew together in that squadron until that Truk flight.
These guys flew together for a while.
They were buddies.
Well, we made a fighter sweep over that lagoon. He was hit, and I could see him burning. And I moved over to him and looked under him. His gasoline was burning. I knew that it would continue to burn until the gasoline tank emptied, at which time the tank would explode and he would lose control of the airplane. I tried to talk to him, to tell him to climb while he had the opportunity. He could clear the lagoon, bail out, and be picked up.
Beecroft isn't receiving his wingman's pleas to climb because their radios are jammed. To make matters worse, the Thunderbolt isn't equipped with an ejector seat. Beecroft has to physically slide back the canopy and bail out, a terrifying prospect given the speed with which his burning plane is flying.
So Beecroft's going how fast at this point?
Well, they're coming out of their dive.
Right.
And so they're about as fast as that P-47 Thunderbolt can go at this point, which is about 400 miles an hour.
Not the speed you want to be going to pull a parachute.
No, absolutely not.
He bailed out, they shoot open, but at that speed, it failed. It split. Had he heard me, he had time to get clear of the lagoon, but he did.
Do you remember where in the lagoon you were flying when that happened, where he bailed out and where his aircraft ultimately ended up?
He was hit about center of the lagoon.
Do you remember if his aircraft went much further after he bailed out of the aircraft?
It was still flying, straight and level, at high speed.
This is potentially critical information.
Absolutely.
Hearing Beecroft's story told from the perspective of a pilot who was there and who has carried this memory to literally his 100th birthday makes finding the Thunderbolt feel even more essential.
Do you think this plane can be found?
I absolutely think it can be found, but we have to be honest with ourselves. This is a huge search area.
Right.
There's a lot of water out there, and it's going to take a lot of work.
Okay. Should we try to find this plane?
Let's do it.
Come on, man. After you.
All right.
There it is, right there. That's some kind of wreckage for sure. Look at the framing on this. This looks like it's from a plane. It's definitely looking aviation.
Now we need to look for clues to determine if this is the plane we're searching for.
The first thing that jumps out is that this plane is incredibly mangled. Like no sign of a fuselage. It's just a twisted wreck. Whatever this is, it must have come in hard. That would align with Beecroft's plane, which hit the water at high speed. Remember Colonel Williams' testimony about the condition of the plane?
He was hit, and I could see him burning.
And this metal does look burned, like it took some serious hits. Yeah, he was hit in the left wing root, so this honestly lines up with Beecroft's story. This is definitely a tantalizing clue. We gotta find something definitive. There's something sticking up over here, guys. Come take a look. Looks like something wedged down in the sand. Not sure what it is, though. Yeah, let's see what it's attached to. See if you can use those scooters to blow the sand. Everybody stay in position. The vis is gonna get bad here. Okay, here we go. Blowing.
The scooters we brought aren't just for getting around. By directing their force downward, we can gently blow sand away from the seabed, exposing whatever's beneath the years of built-up sediment.
There's something under there. Look at that. There's something circular. Yeah, Josh, this looks like a supercharger from a plane. And the Thunderbolt was a plane that had a supercharger, correct? Absolutely, Josh. It was one of the largest superchargers on a fighter plane. Looking in the manual here, you're talking about where? In here? Right at this little V section. I think that's exactly what we're looking at here. That is definitely part of the supercharger. Wow. The clues are stacking up here. This is looking good, but it's not yet a match. We know some Japanese planes had superchargers too. The problem is most of the engine's buried. Why don't you blow this big sandy section here? All right, everybody, here we go. Hold on, there's something underneath the wreckage here. It's the landing gear. That's the strut from the landing gear. So you can see on the diagram, there's this slightly bent piece near the wheel. Look at that. That's a match. That's a direct match to the Thunderbolt. And there's the wheel. There's lettering on it. Look. Oh my God, there's writing on this. Stand by. It's General. It says General. General Tire. And underneath it, oh my God, made in USA. This is America. Oh my God, we got it, guys. We got it. Yes, yes. Dude, this is it. This is Beecroft's plane. I can't believe it. This is the Thunderbolt.
In the remote waters of Micronesia, we've just found the lost airplane of MIA American pilot Lieutenant Gordon Beecroft, who was shot down in the closing days of World War II.